50 pet cats. Females typically weigh 250 pounds to 350 pounds. Lions can run up to 50 miles per hour, but only a straight line for only a few seconds at a time. But we all know, like, if somebody ran at you 50 miles per hour, don't need, like, they don't really need to, you know, they don't need too long, you know. Although the lion is known as the king of the jungle, lions do not live in the jungle. They live only in grasslands and plains, meaning that we calling them something that they really not. They don't even. They're not even in the jungle. Amen. So we calling the story on, you know. But lions can see 6 times better in the dark than a human. A lion's bite is 30 times stronger than the bite of a house cat. They actually have the weakest bite of all the cats. That's 600 psi. So they are pretty strong. And then we like you said, like, which sounds deadlier, the lion or Goliath? The lion, and he's already beat the lion. And you know, facts about bears: the largest mammalian carnivore that ever lived on the land was a giant short-faced bear, twice the size of the biggest modern bear. It was 6 foot 5 feet inches tall at the shoulder when standing on all fours. And scientists believe that it had very long legs and chased antelopes on the North American prairies. It died around 12,000 years ago. The most accurate way to determine the age of a bear is to count the rings in a cross-section of its tooth root under a microscope, just in case y'all find a dead dead bear. You want to see how old he is. Yeah. They already be dead. Bears are very smart and have been known to roll rocks into bear traps to set off the trap and eat the bait in safety. So bears are bow-legged. That gives them better grip and balance. Bears can run up to 40 miles per hour, fast enough to catch a running horse. The fastest known human alive is Usain Bolt, who can run 27 miles per hour.
Wow.
A bear's normal heart rate is 40 beats per minute. A hibernating bear's heart rate dropped to 8 beats per minute. I found that interesting. That doesn't really make them scary, but a polar bear can swim up to 100 miles without resting. Like, that's... Oh yeah, koala bears are not bears at all and not related to the bear family. They are marsupials. Did anybody know that? Oh, you read books. That's cool. In 2004, a black bear was found unconscious in a campground in Seattle, Washington. It had broken into a cooler and used its claws and teeth to open dozens of beer cans. Although it sampled other types of beers, it chose to drink all the cans of only one type of beer. After its drinking binge, the bear passed out. I was like, wow. I know. They just sound like they think like, yeah. But I mean, all to say, and he killed the bear. So, of all the three, the lion, bear, and Goliath, in this man's eyes, who seemed like the most dangerous? I would think the lion or the bear. Can't really grasp that. And he defeated both of them. And you bring him this human being, like, you only but so much, like, your best is just the average in this field that I've been working in. So, just to really think, just put that in perspective. So, is this really an underdog story, or did they just simply underestimate him?
What you say?
And then it made me think about it, because it's like we always take what people say for face value, or we never look into the things that we need to. And just something as simple as David Goliath, and this is such a popular story. We learned this from the time we are born, like, about this story. And they've been, in my personal opinion, and based off of what the scriptures tell us, we've been interpreting it wrong the entire time. Like, we teach our kids that, like, the underdog can always win. No, that man was prepared.
Come on.
Like, even though he did not get formal training from the army, he had been fighting battles way before. He was fighting stronger more cunning and more people. Like imagine somebody who can sniff you out from miles away. I didn't even read that, and I apologize about that. Like a lion can sniff you out from over a couple hundred yards. Like a bear can sniff out things over 3 miles. Like a polar bear can sniff out a dead seal from a mile up underneath the ice. And we all know, like when it's cold, it suppresses the smell already. So just imagine how good it smells. So it's like you can't sneak up on this man. You can't, and they can hear better than us. So there's no way, shape, or form. Like you have to be just as tactical as they are, or take them on mano y mano. Like there's no way of getting around it. Like you can trick us because you know what our capabilities are, but you can't trick them. And he wasn't even fearful. He didn't even say, it's all good.
No fear.
And no fear at all. Yeah. And the reason why, like the first quote I read is, there's never a time I feel like I have to impress a person, but there are times that my behavior must be impressive to impress upon a person. Is because if David was trying to impress them, he would, when in 1 Samuel chapter 17 in verse 38, when he said, then Saul dressed David in his own tunic. He put a coat of armor on him and a bronze helmet on his head. David fastened his sword over the tunic and tried walking around because he was not used to them. And he said, I cannot go in these, he said, because I'm not used to them. So he took them off. Then he took his staff in his hand, chose 5 smooth stones from the stream, put them in the pouch of his shepherd's bag, and with his sling in his hand, approached the Philistine. So at this point, he's not saying, I'm going to impress you by listening to everything you sound like that. Like, I'm going to allow my behavior to be impressive, to impress upon you that we have greatness within our people.
Come on. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Yes.
In my personal opinion, if he felt like he was an underdog, he would have did anything he could do to impress them and let you know, like, I'm listening to you. What advice you have? No. He said, y'all are underestimating me and y'all are overestimating him because I know exactly what to do.
Right.
And so right now, I don't need to impress anybody. I just need my behavior and everything I need to learn to be impressive, so I can press upon you the greatness that is within all of us.
My God.
So,
Come on, Pastor. Thank you, Father. Yes.
So when the Lord sends you on a mission, you need to know that the Lord has given you all the training that you need.
Oh, okay now.
Because if you didn't, He wouldn't have put you in a situation to go on.
My Lord. Thank you, God. My Lord. Thank you, God.
Number 2, make sure you have your slingshot and stones. Meaning, whatever you've been training for. Don't come up here and being a vocalist your whole life and just say, all right, I'm about to come up here and play this piano. No, that's not what you do. Use your weapons. If you know this is what you're great at, be the best at what you can possibly be, and just keep improving upon that. Because when you get in that battle, when you get in that fight, guess what? You're going to learn some new tactics because that person's going to bring the best that they're capable of. And we see who's best is the absolute best.
Thank you, God.
And to thine own self be true.
My God.
And that pretty much goes back to 2, because like if you know you are truly like, okay, everything I've been working for and I've trained my absolute hardest and I've done my absolute best, then my behavior should be impressive enough to conquer anything. And then we go back to what David said when he said, the Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hands of this Philistine. Meaning that not only did he know that he could have said, well, I killed the lion and the bear. He said, no, the Lord rescued me. He made sure that I was a willing vessel. I was operating in perfection. And then once I got to the point where I need the Lord for my help, he was like, he emptied himself out so that way the Lord can come in here, because it's just simple as that. So he knew who his victor was. All these Israelites running around scared because they didn't know what to do, but he knew exactly what to do. So it was God who triumphed over the Philistine with the sling and the stone. without a sword in his hand, and he struck down the Philistine and killed him. Because he knew. And then sometimes it's good because like sometimes you wonder, why did God put me in isolation, or why did God have me over here when I'm supposed to be a warrior, but why he got me out here with these sheep? That's because he wants to train you to be the greatest warrior ever, because he wants you to fight those lions and those bears. So when it's time to fight the biggest and baddest who's over here, that's easy to you. Not only that, like he never once said, I don't have a chance. He just said, okay, I can beat him. These are your weapons? No. This is not how I'm trained. This is what's gonna happen. And he went out, and not only did he win, he won decisively. So does David and Goliath sound like an underdog story? So it's too many times when we have people telling us how we should feel, telling us how we should act. And I think it's because people are operating based off of their own fears and their own capabilities, which is nothing wrong with that. So it's like we have to uplift anybody and encourage people when they say that. So we have to remember that. We just have to believe in one another, and if we all, but we have to earn that trust, because it's like if you say you're capable of something, you don't have to prove it to somebody, but you just have to simply do it. Because if you don't, then they're gonna find somebody else to take that place sooner like that. Because like if we don't want people, we want to earn each other's respect and earn each other's love. If I say that I'm gonna be great at this, and this is what we need to do to work as a team, then we need to make sure that we are all operating on the same path. Even if we don't have the same talent level, we all have the same 24 hours, and we all have the capabilities of putting in the same work ethic.
That's right.
They always say like hard work alone does not win, but hard work in the right places does. So if you know that you're a vocalist, nobody's asking you to go learn how to play the piano. Is go learn how to be the best vocalist possible.
That's right. That's right.
If you're saying that you want to be a great orator, nobody's telling you to go learn how to play the drums. It's to go read and study up on how to be the best orator possible. So I leave you with, there's never a time I feel like I have to impress a person, but there are times that my behavior must be impressive to impress upon a person.